Hey guys, it's me, Carrie. Today I want to talk to you about something kind of serious. It's something that I've joked about for many, many years, and I know it's not a joke. I try to make light of it because it's yet another facet, I guess, of my mental illness, and one that I never really wanted to call what it actually was. But I'm just finally starting to come to terms with it, and I think it's something that a lot of you guys can probably relate to, so I thought I would share a little bit about it today. My issue, among being clinically depressed and having anxiety disorder, is hoarding. I like to call it collecting. I jokingly say hoarding with winky faces usually afterwards on social media, but legitimately, it's a problem for me. Um, It's been a problem my entire life. It was a problem for my grandmother. It's a problem for my mother, and we all suffer from it. I'm learning in therapy that it is something that often goes hand in hand with depression and anxiety. But yeah, I hoard. And it's really kind of ironic and crazy and twisted in a way. Like my mom and I will sit and watch like the Hoarders TV series together, and we say to ourselves, at least we're not that far gone. We justify our disease by saying we don't have animal feces in our home. We don't have rotting food in our home. We have to like literally burrow paths from one room to another because the stuff is legitimately piled from floor to ceiling. We're not like those people. Like those people are somehow worse than we are. And that's a horrible judgmental thing to say. And the fact is they're not worse than we are. They're just suffering the same disease to a more extreme, to a more extreme dimension, I guess. They're farther gone than we are. But the basic mentality of it is pretty much the same, I think. I can't throw things away. I mean, I can throw garbage away, but I legitimately have clothes I wore in high school. I have stuffed animals from my childhood, not one or two or three, but hundreds and hundreds, and I still continue to buy them to this day, even though most of them are packed in the knee wall, which in my particular type of home in Long Island, they call my home a Levitt home, and we basically, in our upstairs 2 rooms, have wall storage. We call it a knee wall because basically you'd have to be on your knees to get inside it. You can't like fully stand or anything. I'm assuming that's where the name comes from. But basically, it's wall storage, and it's packed, completely packed with toys, with stuffed animals, with collectibles, with figurines, with crafting supplies that I haven't seen or touched since I've been back in New York, which is now just over 5 years. No, I'm sorry, 4 years. It was 4 years at the end of February. But I mean, there's stuff that's been in this house since I was a little girl, and I just can't part with it. It like legitimately feels like tearing out a piece of my heart to get rid of these toys and these stuffed animals and this clothing and these figurines and just so many things. And I always say to my husband, half jokingly, that like if I left the house and he threw out 99% of the shit without me witnessing him doing it, I would never miss it. I would never know it was gone. 1% I would remember. Because like that's the fucked up thing about my issue. I went to see a Tori Amos concert, and we're talking about probably 25 years ago at least. And I had this really cool 3/4 sleeve, like baseball sleeve, jersey type shirt. And it got a little stain on it, so I donated it to Goodwill along with a bunch of other clothes. To this day, it kills me that I don't have this shirt. Stain or no stain, I wish to God I had kept it and still wore it for pajamas or framed it or made it into a pillow, and it legitimately kills me 25 years later that I donated this shirt. And that's unfortunately what happens to me a lot of the time when I do donate things, is that they're not things. They're memories, they're love, they're connection, they're I don't know. It's like a visceral thing. It's like literally like my heart is connected to these items, and part of the problem is also the process of buying, especially when I find things on sale. I don't have a lot of money. I told you guys this. My husband works. I do not. He works 3 days a week, 4 if he's lucky. And we're by no means wealthy people. I mean, we're on Medicaid. We are legitimately struggling financially most of the time. I mean, knock on wood, we have no debt whatsoever, which I'm super, super proud of. We get our bills paid on time, and we do not overextend ourselves. Legitimately, my husband doesn't own a credit card. I don't use mine ever. It's like for emergencies. I use my debit card. If I can't afford to debit something, and I don't even like to debit things, like I go to the ATM and take out the cash, if I can't pay for something in cash right then and there, I don't need to have it. So, I mean, on those terms, we're a lot better off than a lot of other people are. But like the rush I get from buying things, it's happiness and it's bliss and it's joy, and it's like, it literally is an addiction. I realize that now. I mean, my God, like I literally, okay, you guys don't even know this, but my mom gave me some money to buy some Easter lip smackers prior to Easter, because she usually makes me a little basket, and she doesn't know which lip balms I have. So it was easier for her to just say, you know what, go pick out the ones you want, I'll pay for them. And she gave me the money for it. I legitimately went back to Target and Walmart, sometimes, not Walmart, sorry, Target, twice or 3 times. And if I found, like after Easter, I found a lot of the lip balms for half price. I rebought them and returned them with the original receipt, because then I got half the money back. And then I legitimately found some of them at 70% off. So I bought them again and returned them with the 50% off receipts, because it's easier than trying to do price adjustments. So I just do that. So I ended up getting some of these $5 and $4 lip smacker sets for $1.99 or $1.50. And the rush I got, not only from having the item, the initial buying of the item and having it in my possession, but getting money back and feeling like I got a bargain. It's like the most incredible feeling for me. It's how I get joy. It's how I get happiness, because I'm so unhappy and feel like I have so little control over most of the rest of my life, that this shopping and the acquisition of things is just the most wonderful feeling. But it's very, very temporary, you guys. It happens, and I get home and I tell my mom or my husband about my deals. My husband's kind of over it because he knows I have way too much shit. I'm going to get emotional, but he's not that way. He's very minimalist, and part of that is not by choice. It's a whole nother story to get into another day, but basically he was married prior to me. Things ended very badly. He pretty much lost everything he had, and pretty much when we met, he had a duffel bag with clothes in it and a couple other possessions that were precious to him that belonged to family members, and that was it. So to this day, he's not a collector. If a shirt gets a hole or a stain, it goes in the garbage, or it goes in a donation bin if it's salvageable, but he won't wear it anymore. Whereas I will sit there and try to mend the shit because I just can't bear to part with it. But getting back to the temporary nature of this, I'll buy the item and I'll get the rush and it'll make me feel really good, and I'll look at it. And then more often than not, it ends up in a pile somewhere in my room or somewhere in our den, where I don't even get to look at it because it's under so much other shit. And it's not like floor-to-ceiling piles, and I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, even though I kind of am. But you can walk around in our rooms. There's plenty of carpet space. It's not like floor-to-ceiling piles of stuff, but it's too much. It's too much. And the things that are put away that I never really look at, I don't need them. I know I don't need them, but I feel like I do. Like if I look at them and I say, put this out for the yard sale, even when we had our yard sale last weekend, and it did really shitty and we didn't sell very much. I managed to bag up 2 big garbage bags full of clothes and handbags, but I still kept a lot too. And I did donate those, and it felt good, but it was really, really hard to do. And that was only because I've put them out at 3 previous yard sales and nobody's bought them. So I said to my therapist, okay, things that have gone out at previous yard sales, I will get rid of. And not all of it. I still didn't get rid of all of it. I have got so much nail polish and so much lip balm that I literally don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with it all. But yet, I will watch other people do lip balm hauls and be like, oh my God, I need to buy that right now. I have to have it because somebody else has it and I need it in my collection, and it's crazy. I've never counted how many lip balms I own. I own over 1,000 bottles of nail polish, probably 10 of which I use on a regular basis. It's so stupid. And a lot of them were obtained for free from companies to review when my main focus of my blog was nail polish reviews. So, I mean, at least I can justify that I didn't spend the money on them, but the fact of the matter is they're still taking up space in my life and in my home, and they don't need to be here. And I know that there are good things I can do with them. I can go to a women's shelter with tubs of nail polish or clothing or extra lip balm, and these women who have nothing would be so thrilled to have it. And I'm a giving person, and I'm compassionate, and I want to be able to do that so badly. But the thought of, okay, now I have to research where women's shelter is, and now I have to have the balls to go out in public and face people, and I have to actually physically take the items from my hands and put them in someone else's hands and walk away and know that there will be no financial reward or compensation. It will just be the satisfaction, which is huge, of knowing that it's going to someone that needs it and will appreciate it more than I do. But you guys, it's so hard. It's so fucking hard. I worked at Build-A-Bear Workshop back in, from 2000 to 2002 to 2004. And I must have acquired during that time at least 40 Build-A-Bear plush animals. And I have like 2 out on display. And the rest are, as I said, packed in Rubbermaid tubs in the knee wall where I can't even look at them, where I can barely even get to them without digging for an hour through other boxes. But the thought of giving those away, knowing what I paid for them, knowing how sweet they are, and how I'm a tactile person, I like to touch, I like to hold things, I like to feel things that are soft, it comforts and soothes me. The thought of taking them, I'm crying just thinking about fucking 20-year-old plush toys. But the thought of just giving them away kills me. Putting them at a yard sale and taking $1 for something I paid $20 for kills me. And the one place that I legitimately would be kind of okay with donating, like a hospital or St. Jude's or something like that, won't take them because they're not brand new and pristine and they could potentially harm the children because of dust or whatever. So it's like, they just sit there. They just sit there and I don't even see them. But I know they're there. I know they're there. And the other irony is that another show my mom and I love to watch together is Tiny Houses on HGTV. If you guys aren't familiar, tiny houses are basically like mobile homes. Usually they're mobile, sometimes they're not. I think you can always pretty much trailer them and move them if you wanted to, but basically these are homes that are hundreds of square feet. We're not even talking like apartment size. We're talking about like 600 square feet or less, I think is how they characterize a tiny home. And I watch these people and I think these people for like 20 grand or less can outright buy a place to live and live there and have no debt, and it's their own and they're independent. I've never owned a home. I've either lived in this house with my mom and now with my husband as well, or very briefly, like literally we're talking like 3-4 months with an ex-fiance. I think about a month and a half at college before that fell apart and I had to move back home. And for 8 years in a 1-bedroom apartment with my husband in Florida. But I've never owned a home. And I don't see how I could ever own a home financially. I just don't know how that's possible unless my mom sold this place and we moved someplace. She really wants to move to Florida, ironically, and I really don't want to go back there, but if she decided to sell the house, obviously we would follow her because we couldn't afford our own place up here, and she could probably afford to get a small place for each of us for what she'd get for this house because things are so fucking expensive here in New York, even though I don't know if the real estate market is great right now. I don't really pay attention to that sort of thing because it's not really relevant to me, but I don't know, the thought of like having a tiny home and living in it and being independent and, you know, knowing that I could shut my own door and that I don't have a neighbor attached to me and that I don't have to, you know, share my space with anyone but my husband and my cats. That's like such a dream. But then I think to myself, what the fuck would I do with my stuff? Because there's no way in hell I could get rid of it all. And even if I did, I would want to reacquire it again. I know I would. I know I would because I'm sick, because it's a disease. it's a legitimate problem, and I'm not really sure how to deal with it yet. Like I said, it's not anything I've ever discussed in therapy until this current therapist, which I've only had since November. Her name is Hillary, and she's wonderful. She's helped me so much already. It's ridiculous. She's the first therapist, and I started therapy at 7 years old. Not consistently through the years, but 7 fucking years old. I am going to be 44 in like 3 weeks. Less than 3 weeks. Not one therapist ever before Hillary mentioned the word anxiety to me. And I knew I had depression, but anxiety is a whole nother beast, and I'm actually on meds for that as well, separately from depression now. I take Prestige in the morning, which by the grace of God, we're in Pfizer's free assistance program, which if that's something that you may need, if you need that particular antidepressant or others from Pfizer Corporation, they're actually quite wonderful. You can look online, probably Pfizer.com or .org, I would assume, and you can apply for that program where if you are in financial need and you do have a medical history, you can potentially receive meds for free or an extreme discount. I certainly couldn't afford it otherwise. It's not a generic med. It kills me that it's not. Even my primary care physician has said, I don't know why it hasn't gone generic. It's been on the market long enough, but it's because, it's a double-edged sword. As generous and kind as Pfizer is in helping me, they're also still a pharmaceutical company and they're a business and they want to make money. So as long as it stays non-generic, they make a lot more. But I digress. That wasn't really the point. But I am taking Prestige in the morning for my depression. I take generic Klonopin in the evening for my anxiety, which this is the first time I've ever had a med for anxiety, because it's the first time a doctor's even said to me, you have anxiety. It's like, no shit. Thank you. Finally, someone for recognizing that. And it wasn't until Hillary that I started talking about my collections, because I like to call them my collections. I like to only winky face say hoard. Because, again, I don't have garbage in my house. I don't have rotting food. I don't have animal feces. I don't have an extreme number of animals. I have 2 cats that each have their own litter box that we take exceptional care of. And that is not, that is not a judgment of people who are more far gone. I mean, it's like, there's a difference, even though maybe the mentality might be the same, there's a difference between like smoking weed every night and using crack every night. There's levels to things. There's levels to drug addiction. There's levels to hoarding. But it's fucking hoarding, Carrie. I have to admit that to myself, and I'm admitting it to all of you guys. It's hoarding, whether it's dirty things or things that literally have no value or not. It's still hoarding. And a lot of the things I have are just sentimental value at this point. Some of them have legitimate value. I mean, if I go on eBay, if I sat and like spent an hour on eBay and looked up like each and every Build-A-Bear plush that I have, we're talking, like I said, almost 20-year-old plushies that have been retired, that are in mint condition other than needing, a little brushing to get the dust off. There are people out there that will buy them and that will pay what I paid or more potentially because they're a collectible. But that requires me doing the research for each and every single item to find out what it's selling for, to find out what the shipping would cost, which is a huge expense, and I really can't afford to be losing money to get rid of these things. So it just feels so overwhelming, I don't do it. And the shit just sits in the house and it just keeps getting piled up and piled up and piled up. So I just recently, like literally within like the past week probably, said to myself, okay, no more lip balm unless it's Lip Smacker brand. Because it's my favorite. I'm sorry, I'm sniffling. It's gross. I should have tissues. But there's a lot of Lip Smackers in the world. There are new ones coming out every day. Even if I just continue to collect Lip Smackers, it's too much. And with my toys, I said to myself, okay, I won't collect Shopkins anymore. I won't collect any other random toys. I'll just stick to Tsum Tsum plushies and Tsum Tsum vinyls. That's it. Again, there are hundreds. And right now I have a bucket full of Tsum Tsums because I don't even have shelf space to display them. But yet I keep buying them because they make me feel good at the time and marking off my checklist, which I legitimately spent about 2 hours printing up a checklist, typing it up. I copied it from a page and I deleted all of the Marvel ones, with the exception of the 3 that I own, because I don't really want to collect the Marvel ones too much. But just the Disney ones, it was like 8 pages, and they came up twice of each for some reason, so I had to manually go through and delete the extra one of each. And I have a list now that I carry with me to the stores, and I mark next to it SML, depending on the size of it, so I know exactly which ones I own and which ones I don't. The fact of the matter is, I need to stop buying them. I need to just stop buying them. So my brilliant friend Lisa came up with the awesome suggestion last night on Facebook of, when you want to buy something, instead of like going out and buying it, like think about what it would cost and put the money aside, put it in a jar, save the money, and then you could use it for something really special, like a vacation, or like, you know, a new pretty outfit or something, you know. And again, yes, that's acquiring something, but you're talking to a girl who hasn't bought herself a new dress in 10 years. And I admire, like, just Target dresses. We're not talking about like designer shit, but I'll see a dress at Target and go, oh my gosh, it's $30. I can't spend $30 on a dress. But you bet your ass I can spend $30 on, you know, 6 packs of Tsum Tsums in a week without hesitation, because it's little bits at a time. It's not $30 in one chunk. So, like, even for things like that, that would be special for me to get, like, a grown-up outfit as I sit here in my Lady and the Tramp Disney t-shirt, because I still dress like I'm 5 most of the time. But the thought of it, and then my friend Jeannie actually added that if you save dimes in a liter-sized bottle and you fill it to the top, you will have $700. And I was like, damn, girl. Obviously, there's a reason Jeannie knows that. She must have done it. And I think to myself, $700 to you may not seem like anything, but to me, that's like $1 million. When I think of the experiences my husband and I could have for $700, when I think of what he spends for us to go to our Monster Mania convention, you know, twice a year, which is legitimately our vacation, that's it. We don't go anywhere else. We don't do anything else in terms of, you know, we don't even go to the next town and spend a night in a hotel. We certainly don't get on a plane or leave the country, or leave, you know, we leave the state, but we don't do big trips. We haven't since our honeymoon, which was ironically to Florida before we moved to Florida. But the thought of what I could do with $700 is mind-blowing. So I said to myself, I kind of combined Lisa's idea and Jeannie's idea, and I said to myself, I can't cut off my friends who are lip balm collectors, because I love you guys, and a lot of you I hope are watching this, and maybe you can relate to a degree, but I love you guys, and I love your videos, and you live all over the country, so, and even out of the country, so if not for these videos and social media, we wouldn't be able to connect as friends. So I don't want to stop watching your videos. At the same time, it's really, really enabling, because I'll see, you know, Jen or Candace or Sandra with a new lip balm that I don't have yet, or Lauren or any of the other, you know, friends I have on here, and be like, well, shit, I need to get that. I need to. It's like the thrill of the chase, the thrill of the hunt, and then you know, you catch it and you find it and you have it, and then it goes in the pile. And people that don't understand lip balm collecting say to me, do you actually use them all? And I say, well, sure. I don't. There's so many hundreds that I have not used yet. I'll sniff it once, I'll use it once, and then go, okay, that's cool, and then to the bin it goes. Usually I have 4 or 5 different lip balms in rotation in my purse or on my nightstand or whatever, and I use them till they're gone. And it literally takes me months, if not like years, for a lip balm to be gone. So do I need these lip balms? No, but I justify it to myself, because I say, well, at least I'm not going out and buying $20 Precious Moments and collecting those. I'm only collecting $1, $2 lip balms, so that's nothing. It's not nothing, you guys. So what I'm planning to do is, and this is just the plan, and I hope I can follow through with it, the next time I see a friend with a lip balm that's new, that I want, even if it's a lip smacker, even if it's a lip smacker Tsum Tsum, which I fucking love, I can't even say, like, I'll just stick to those, because that doesn't feel right either. I have so many that I haven't used. I'm going to say to myself, okay, so let's see, she bought this 4-pack of lip smackers. I'm pretty sure that sells for about $5. Instead of going out and spending that $5, I'm going to set aside $5 and put it in a jar, or put it in a box, or put it in a drawer, somewhere out of sight, out of mind. Each and every time that happens, if I have the cash on me, I will do it. And if not, I will at least say to myself, you know what, Carrie? Just think about it. You don't need to spend this $5, this $4, this $3 on the slip smacker. Go find one that's of an equal value in your stash and use that. Shop your own shit. You have a store full of lip smackers and lip balms in general. You don't need any more. In a lifetime, you couldn't use them all. And don't justify it by saying you're collecting them, because I don't need any more collections. I have way too much already. Hillary, my therapist, has said to me, you know, it's okay to buy things sometimes. I understand you're not going to be able to quit that cold turkey, but for everything you buy, get rid of at least one other thing. So that's another thing I'm going to have to put into practice. There will be times that I'll slip up. Lip smackers, I'm not going to lie, that's going to be hard to quit. Other lip smackers, I don't need them. I don't need the Tsum Tsum ones either, but I know I'm going to want them. So if I do that, if I allow myself that, because I know I'm going to fucking want to, then get rid of something else of equal value. Or even if it's not of equal value, make a point of saying, okay, then take something out of your stash of things that you've made, of things that you've collected, and give it to a friend, or donate it, or try to sell it if you want to go to that kind of trouble on eBay or whatever. But try to keep it even. For incoming, something has to be outgoing. Obviously, ideally, more should be going out than coming in, but I'm realistic, and it's going to take me a long time to get there. But yeah, I'm calling a spade a spade. I am a hoarder. I'm not just a collector. I'm a hoarder, and it's really hard to say that. And it's really hard to know that about myself. It's like, let me just add that to the laundry list of things that are fucked up about me. But I keep it real with you guys, always. And I feel like that's the elephant in the room that we've been avoiding, or that I've been avoiding for, you know, the year I've had this channel. So I feel like I don't know, it just was like today. What fucking time is it? I don't even know what time it is. 1:45. 1:45 on Saturday, the 22nd. Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Well, isn't that appropriate that I'm making this video today? It just needs to be called what it is. It needs to be named for what it is. I certainly have an easy enough time pointing out addiction in other people. My brother was an addict. My brother was an alcoholic. I have very many friends and family members who also suffer from substance abuse and hoarding and other issues that, you know, are theirs to claim and theirs to name. And I certainly would never call anyone out for it. But, you know, if by any chance any of them are watching this, they know who they are, and there's no shame whatsoever. Believe me, I'm with you. I'm one of you. We're in this battle together, you guys. And if you don't know me, if by some chance you've stumbled on this video and this is the first time you're meeting me, yeah, I'm Carrie, and I have mental illness. I suffer from pervasive depressive disorder. I suffer from severe anxiety, and I'm a fucking hoarder. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, I'm going to go now because this has been really long already. And if you've sat through it all, I really appreciate it. I would really, really, really appreciate it if for once people wouldn't fucking thumbs down this video. I know it gives people their jollies, but fucking A, this is from my heart. This is not easy to share. This is not easy to do. Don't be a fucking douchebag and thumbs down it because you can, because a lot of times now, I mean, it happens still. Fuck, there's my phone. Hold on, guys. Sorry. And I knew that call was gonna come. It's my mom calling from work to say, pick a place you want to go for dinner tonight, because we always go out to dinner on Saturday nights when she gets done with work. But, you know, and I kind of snapped at her, and she's like, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say you were shooting a video. Little did she know it was this video. She probably thought it was my usual fluffy shit. But, where was I? If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to my fucked up life. it's beautiful at times and in aspects, and it's devastatingly hard in times and aspects, just like everybody else's is. But I would appreciate nothing but love on this video and comments, and if you want to thumbs it up, cool. If you don't want to thumbs it up, that's cool too, but don't fucking thumbs down on this one, please, guys. People do it on my other videos, and at this point, it's kind of where I'm at, whatever, haters gonna hate. There's just people on this planet that are miserable and get joy out of hurting others, even if they're complete strangers, and, nothing I say or do is gonna change that. You would think I would have gotten a tissue while I got up, sorry guys. But, I feel like Heather Donahue in the Blair Witch Project with the snot, but anyway, now you know it's real. But yeah, if you're new here and this is something you can relate to, or even if it isn't, you just have supportive words or advice, I would so appreciate those sorts of comments. Hate will be deleted, you will be blocked, so there's no point in even posting it, except, if you just feel like, your douchebaggery has no limit and you have to do it, but do it somewhere else, please, not on this video, not today. Thank you all so much for watching and for listening. And again, if this is something you can relate to and you want to share, you can share with me in the comments. You can reach out to me privately. I typically prefer for my email to be specifically for contacts from businesses that would like me to review products, but it is listed in the Dropbox. You can certainly send me an email in this regard if this is something that you feel you want to reach out and discuss. I'm happy to correspond with you on that. It is PerseveringStar@hotmail.com. I would appreciate not getting spam there, though, God. I mean, I hate opening that can of worms, but I just got to trust that most people are kind and compassionate and good and won't take advantage of somebody vulnerable and needy and going through something really difficult. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up now because I could literally go on all day and nobody needs that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me in this part of my journey and all parts of my journey. If you've been a long time follower, subscriber, and friend of mine, I'm so grateful for you, like beyond. As I said, if you're new, welcome. I'm not always this maudlin and depressing, but sometimes I am because, I just shoot whatever, feels important or significant or just fun and whimsical, whatever mood I'm in. That's the kind of shit that I shoot. I shoot it when I feel like it, how I feel like it, about whatever I want. So I hope this is meaningful to at least a few of you. But okay. All done. I promise. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you all, and I'll be back soon with more stuff. Bye.